Hello, guys. The way things are changing is very alarming. Recently, I saw on IG how a big man, a very old man, identified himself to be a baby, and he was calling for a nanny. I think that's an identity issue, and today we want to talk about identity and I. My name is Emem Livinus, and we are in the Teenarmies podcast. I'm not here alone. I have a very, 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 very big name. Should I say big name? Okay. Help me welcome Sir Jude. Minister Jude.
Must you add this?
I need to add it. Like
I don't understand, Chief. You can just say Jude.
No.
Jude is fine.
See, the thing is, I literally respect your personality. You're a big name. For me. A big name.
Okay. Wow, that's very interesting. Hello, guys. It's wonderful being here. Thank you very much for having me on this podcast, Emem. I'm looking forward to dissecting this conversation with you.
Recently, I saw that video. When I saw that video, I was like what? So I can literally say I identify myself to be a phone.
Well, that's the generation we are in. So the thing is, when you look at what is happening now, you have to you realize this is an identity issue, right? And then you have to ask questions about, like, the person involved would need to ask questions like, oh, who am I really? Right? Because I think it's a lack of understanding of who we are that leads to these issues, right? You wake up one morning, you see someone saying, I'm no longer identifying as a man, I want to be a woman. And they go on to do stuff. They go on to make changes to their body. You see parents do these things to their children. They go on to say, my child, I can't give the child a gender yet. So they have to grow up first. And then once they've grown up, they can now decide who they want to be. And you think, who comes up with this kind of stupid ideas? Who comes up with this kind of stupid ideologies? What are these people consuming that makes them to think like this? Right? So these are the issues. It's nothing new, right? Like I said, it's the generation that we are in.
So, like, how can we ever come out of such? Because I don't know. This is the era of, I would say, the Gen Z era. Where we are still hitting it. I don't know how Gen A and Gen B, how it would be like. I don't know.
I am sorry. I know this podcast is probably for a cross audience, like it's for a very open audience, and I like to infuse a little bit of Bible references when I speak. So I don't know if you there's this verse in the Bible where Jesus was saying that things are going to get so bad, right? Like it has never been as bad as it will get, right? Since the start of time and all of that. So you need to look at it from that angle, right? It's not like I like to look at it from the angle of we are fulfilling prophecy. Because to be honest, there are moments where I sit down and I'm like, if I see red button, say make I press them, and then let this wall just blow up, I will press it. Because it's a thing that it doesn't get better. Because people have lost a sense of who they are. And now everybody's talking about self. Everybody's talking about self-love. Everybody's talking about it has to be you. It's me. It's a me thing, right? It's no longer love your neighbor. It's no longer love your parents, respect your parents, and all of that shit, right? Everybody's now doing I love me. I love me. If it's not about me, I don't care about it. Exactly. So that's and you can imagine these people that have these ideologies giving birth to children, right? And obviously, when the idea of the family is that the father or the parents pass the baton on to the children, and the children continue
in the next generation,
and maybe times two of what the parents did. So imagine someone that does not have an understanding of himself coming to say it's passing the baton to his children. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen?
And I don't know where do you think um these not knowing their identity is from, like, because basically is it that they were not taught or something, because do we need to when we are born, when we are growing, we just need to get to go study our identity or something, how,
Nah, I don't think so.
because these guys losing who they are, how did it start from, how did they start losing themselves?
So it's funny because when you look at it, the problem starts from the family.
Okay.
Yeah, the problem starts from the family. So there is, just like there is an order in life, there is like a spiritual order in life.
Yeah.
Where there's God, there's Christ, and then there's man, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's that same order in the family, right? And when the person that is supposed to be the head of that order is the father. And so once the father gets that wrong, it affects every other thing. The mother cannot perform well, the children cannot do what they are supposed to do, and everything goes off, right? So basically, identity comes from a place of love. I did a book recently, kind of like a collection of poems,
Yeah.
Identity Crisis.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that when you sent the list of topics, I think I've told you this before, that when you sent the list of topics, the first one that I saw was identity, and
I intentionally sent that identity because I saw the book. I saw the identity crisis. I was like, okay.
So when I saw it, I was like, okay, no, I just have to pick this before someone else picks it, because I don't know what else to talk about.
Okay.
So, and the idea behind that collection was looking at the how, because of the different levels of brokenness that each and everyone, because to be honest, everybody has been broken at some point, right? And sometimes these people do not heal, right?
Yeah.
So this brokenness stems from a place of love, because we are emotional beings, and because we are emotional beings, we love as much as there are people that do hard guy and hard girls all over, but we love, right? And if we don't get love the right way, or we don't get it in the right amount, it affects us. And when this thing starts to affect us, we start to look for other ways to get this love.
Yeah, and it will start building some sort of triggers. Okay?
So it now starts, people will now start to build certain kind of ideologies and philosophies. And then, I don't know if you've noticed a trend that it's kind of like it's the broken that is leading the broken on social media. Like, you go on social media and someone is saying trash, and you go through the comments and there are people like, wow, this is so true. And you're like, oh, what's going on? So these are the issues, right? All of this comes from a place of brokenness, and then these people just want to look for something to feel among, or something to make themselves feel better. And so rather than facing the pain, or rather than going through the process of healing, they take a back door. Then from taking the back door, you start to see shit. Because I think when this old transgender thing started, right? I don't know how true it is, but some of the online gist I read was surrounding the fact that some of these women that change to men, or that refuse to admit that they are women, because it's, let me use the men, let me not use women. Some of these men that decide to change to women, right? If you notice, you go through their background, they were failing consistently. And so in a way for them to make themselves feel good and make themselves feel like they're doing something or they're achieving something, they had to switch. And in the process of switching, we have all this rubbish.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's what I think it is.
And this is beyond the normal, like ah crazy. Crazy.
I
Crazy,
I
crazy,
I don't
crazy.
think it's something that we can sit down and talk about and say, oh, let's just talk about this and then there's a solution for this. I don't think it's something that there is an out of the box solution,
Mm.
right? Because this is something that we need to do um, serious reorientation,
Mm.
right, on the people that we are calling to lead, the people that we are calling to lead families, right? You talk about fathers, and you notice that most of them are irresponsible. You Because tell me why you would sit down, you don't have a vision, you are pushing wheelbarrow in the market, and you go and carry somebody's daughter. She'll born the first one, born the second one, born the third one,
Wow.
born the fourth one.
The seventh one.
Exactly. Most of them say they want 11. And you're not doing anything about it. You're not making like effort to provide for these people that you're bringing to the war. And then in the morning you go out, because obviously she's not his wife, because some of these things, some of these relationships, they were not really married. The girl just got pregnant and then boom, before you know, she has dropped 3. It's now turned to normal thing.
Hattrick.
Exactly. So the man goes out, the woman goes out, and then leaves the children.
So is it also sort of a part of value system?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, it's a value system thing, because these people, when you're talking about leadership, right?
Yeah.
Before you lead anybody,
Yeah.
you have to be responsible
Oh,
for
yeah,
yourself
yeah.
first.
Yeah. First of
So
all.
tell me how someone that still lives in a family compound, right,
Okay.
is expected to be responsible for himself as a guy. If for me, I don't know for other people, right? But personally, as a guy, if at 25 you're still living in your father's house, then something is seriously wrong with you, because you have to go out and hunt. I see guys say, "Oh, we are enjoying life, this, that, da, da, da," and then by 30, that's when they start. Bros, you are getting married by 30 when you want born picking. So back to this thing. You have these guys. The father goes out, the mother goes out, and the children just roam around. They meet all sort of people, come across all sort of things, and then learn all kind of things that they are not supposed to learn. And they're exposed to all these ideologies, and then growing up, when the earliest time to teach someone something is when they are a child. Once you've been able to cement an ideology in them from when they're small, it's difficult to break it. So imagine growing up with that idea. Popsy was not there, Momsy was not there, and then that's
They,
it.
they, they develop some sort of bitterness.
Bitterness.
Yeah.
And
that's
then from
will
the
affect-
start doing the role of the man
Mm.
is supposed to be discipline.
Oh.
So if this man does not have the discipline to train the children the way he's supposed to train them
Mm.
or to lead them,
Yeah.
then it becomes a problem. It becomes an issue, because you have to teach them values. If we are to do a test now, we go on the streets of Uyo, right? And then we meet 5 random people and ask them, what are your top 3 values? You won't get an answer from anybody. They'll start thinking, oh, what is value? What do you mean by value? Is it
Yeah, talking about what is value, like value and identity. Like, is there any difference between value and identity? Because I think if I have a particular value system
Mhm.
that builds, does it build my identity?
Yes, it does.
Mm.
Yes, it does. Identity is who you are.
Mm.
Your value system is what you believe in
Mm.
that motivates you to be who
Who
you are.
you are. Okay. Okay. Wow. Crazy. Wow. That
So,
was crazy.
so identity cannot exist without value,
Mm.
right? Or without an understanding of. So if someone doesn't have an understanding of value,
Mm.
they have the wrong identity, or they have the wrong value systems.
Mm.
They have the wrong identity.
Then what are the right value system?
Mm.
Yeah. What are the right value system? Because um people tend to have their own value system. So they
Okay.
build their own value. Like this one is very funny. There's one of my friend that if you call her the first time she does not pick. Like
Okay.
that's default, and that's I think she say it is a value.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how that is.
Okay. So Revelation 1 verse 6.
Revelation 1
1 verse
verse 6.
6. It
Okay.
talks about it says, and has made us kings. This is talking about Jesus, right? And
Yeah.
has made us kings and priests. Now, when you look at this Bible verse,
Yeah.
keyword on kings and priests,
Yeah.
and then you go on to look at Genesis,
Yeah.
and then God says, "Let us make man in our
Your
own
own
image,
image. Yeah.
after our likeness,"
Likeness.
and all of that. And then for you to be able to understand the right value system, you have to understand what God's value system is. So you cannot exist outside of God's value system and expect to have the right value system. You can't. It's just um what would I use as an example? You being made in the image of God, right? Means we have God's characteristics, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like saying a mango tree.
Mm.
You go to a mango tree and you're seeing apples on it.
Wow.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it does make
Doesn't make sense.
yeah.
So you only find apple trees from you only find apple trees bear apple fruits.
Mm.
Kind of like the apple does not fall far from the tree.
Yeah.
So you can't go and find a mango tree bearing an apple fruit.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Wow.
So for us to understand the right value system, we have to first of all understand what does God expect from us, right? What is the right value system as defined by God's principles?
No, I was I saw something. I saw something online. I saw somebody. He was saying, "I am this. I am that. I am this. I am that. I am that. I am that." So it was a sort of motivation to himself.
Yeah.
But that triggered me. Um,
Or kind of is it kind of like all these motivational speakers where they say,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
star,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
this."
So
Okay.
I was now saying when the question came to my mind was like, when do I say I am this? Now I I build okay, I have an identity and I have a value system. So is it when I have a value system, an identity, that's when I say, okay, I am this.
So first of all, I would ask, what does God say you are?
Okay, basically I'll say that I'm his son.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm his son. So definitely I'm in his own image,
Yeah.
as Genesis would say.
Okay. So now you have to look at it from that angle. And then
Mm.
you have to look at it from the angle of who is God, right? If I am a king and a priest, that means, and if I operate under the authority and the likeness of God, then that means that anything that I say has to happen as a king that I am, right? So when you look at calling yourself, I am a diamond, I am a shining light, I am all of these things. Does God actually call you that? Right? So if it's something that you look at the word of God and then it's something that aligns and then it's something that, because yes, the Bible says we are salt. The Bible also calls us light, right? So in my opinion, I feel like if we want to talk about these things, that it's something that you yeah, like I said, align yourself with the value system.
Aligning yourself a good value system, specifically good value system that's of Christ. Identity, the importance of identity, because this set of young people that also buy into the idea of this. I identify to be this. I identify to be this. Does this identity, knowing your identity, helps in self development? Does it affect self development? Like as an identity, like identity crisis specifically, does it affect your growth?
Yes, it does. If you are not eating the right food,
Mm,
you can't grow. So if you're not sure of who you are, you will not know the direction to go into. I'm into tech, right? I've seen a couple of people come into tech saying they want to design, they want to learn how to code and all of that stuff. And then 1 month in, they get tired. This is too hard for me. So not something that I can do. And it's the same thing with us as human beings. If what you're looking to do, right, does not save who you are,
yeah.
it doesn't work.
Mm,
It doesn't work because you probably are doing this thing to like gain validation,
validation.
right?
Validation.
Just let me just do this so that people see that I'm doing this.
Mm,
Let me just do this because my guy is doing this.
okay.
My guy is making
Based on
money.
people's view,
Exactly.
sort of.
So
Okay.
let me just do this. Let me just feel among,
Mm,
right? So if you don't understand who you are,
yeah.
if you don't understand because once it starts from understanding who you are,
Yeah.
and then you'll be able to understand the direction to go into.
Mm,
So if you're going in the wrong direction, it is impossible for you to grow because you get to a point, you get tired, and then you come back and say, what's the next thing to do? That's why I see people switching left, right, center. Today they are this, tomorrow they are switching to this, today they are switching to another thing. It's messed up.
so I this is not, I'm just setting an example. Um this is me that do not have um do not know my identity. So
Now
um
you should know your identity.
I know my identity. I know who I am. I know who I am. But okay, let me say, for people out there that are struggling to get to know who they are. Yeah. People that wants to know who they are, how can they discover, like, do we have to discover who we are? Do we have to, how do we get to that point where we say I am this?
Well, the journey to discovering yourself starts from first acknowledging that you are on the wrong path.
Hmm.
You can't go and meet someone that is stealing and then force the person to say, you're a thief. You have to change today. It won't work.
Hmm.
That's to come from within. So once the person accepts, I'm stealing, and stealing is wrong,
Yeah.
that's when he gives himself the opportunity to change.
Hmm.
So he, from admitting that he is a thief
Hmm.
and admitting that this is wrong, he now has to go look for value systems that
Hmm.
oppose that thing that he once believed in.
Hmm.
Right? So he has to go to church, give his life to Christ, become a Christian, and then start studying the word to understand who he really is.
Because it seems recently, because I saw a video. Gospel played a video for me. I cannot remember the exact phrase. It was like I think still still okay steal from the devil, run to God. There's how he said, okay, is it steal from the rich? Something like that.
Okay.
I think it's steal from the rich, feed the poor. I think is it so? Then steal from the devil, run
Run
to
to
God.
God.
Like so now in this generation where majority of people because the internet is really what is um literally everywhere. So the majority of people in the internet are now building a particular a sort of value system intentionally or not intentionally anyhow, but they are building a particular system where
Mm.
and they have a lot of followers.
Yeah.
Mhm. I think is a group of as you said a group of
Broken.
broken people
Leading the broken.
leading the another set of broken people. Then and this young generation that are coming up into the internet, how do they navigate? How do they navigate this thing? Because definitely, if they stay on the internet so much, they'll definitely be influenced. Like there's this song I heard, I'm a gold digger, gold digger.
Well, I think if I want to answer this, it might sound like I'm telling parents how to train their children,
Yeah.
right? And obviously, I'm not married, so it will now look somehow,
Yeah.
right? So, but I think if we are being realistic and if we are being honest to ourselves, when you talk about the younger generation
Yeah.
and then putting them in the right path, it's the work of the parents.
Yeah.
The responsibility boils down to the parents, and if the parents understand, there's this thing that my parents did. To be honest, yeah,
Mm.
I didn't know what was sex until I think that should be my SS1.
Okay.
It was crazy, right? Because throughout secondary school I did not have a phone,
Mm.
right? So the only thing I knew was, oh, I did like have questions about it, right? But the only thing I knew was Popsy and Momsy would just be one day, one day. Next thing we'll see Momsy, her stomach will start coming out. And I'm like,
Okay.
then move, child, I've come out, her stomach reduced. Next thing, so what's the magic
Mechanism.
exactly, right? So these are kind of like the things, right? It boils down to the parents to teach their children the right thing, teach their children the right values. If you, I was watching a TED talk from a 7-year old where she was talking about how children respond to love and how it's easier to build them when you come from a place of love, when you respond to them, when they feel like you understand them, right? The truth is, if we want to, if parents do not heal,
Yeah.
right, and understand where their identity comes from, and they are still, because obviously the reason for this phone, you more, it's to help people escape reality.
Mm.
Yeah, it's to help people escape reality. Someone will go on YouTube, spend 3-4 hours on YouTube
Yeah.
doing nothing. Why are they spending 4 hours on YouTube? It's to escape the shitty feeling. They don't want to face the way, like they don't want to face their real selves.
Mm.
So if parents can, the people that we call parents, the people that we say are supposed to lead these children, right? If they can understand where their identity comes from,
Yeah.
and they will build and all of that,
Yeah.
right? It's something that they would be able to train the children from a place of love, right? From a place of understanding, and from a place of, oh, this is wrong, don't do this, right? You see parents, once their pikin don't cry or they don't carry sweets, give them. and it doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
So you need to teach children responsibility. If someone does not, I think one of the core values that a human being has to learn is responsibility. Because if you don't have, if you don't understand responsibility, you can't discipline yourself. So understanding responsibility, understanding that these people are responsible for these children and these children are responsible for themselves,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Will stop, or I think it will minimize the idea of having to seek for validation, and also solve, I think, to an extent, some of these problems.
Okay, guys. Before we continue, a big shout out to Shubz Studios because they made this literally possible.
Yeah.
You saw this studio now?
Yeah, I saw this video. It was really nice.
Yeah.
I think I've been here before,
Mm.
and it was. I did have a couple of questions when I came here the first time, and to be honest, I like how I love the space. Like
Crazy.
it has everything you need.
Thank you very much for still staying there. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe and share this. Let's help other young people that by any means might have lost their identity and maybe elevate their mind. Definitely elevate their mind to greater things. Finally, I would want to know the challenge because there are a lot of faults because the system of the world have really limited a lot of young people. Like I would say is the distraction agenda. That's the mobile phone.
Yeah.
The social media is I do call it a distraction agenda because it tends to distract the young people on things they have to do. They are supposed to
Tell me why somebody's sitting down for 3 hours
3
tapping
hours.
on his phone, and what are they doing? Tap coin.
That's all. Sorry, I'm calling them.
Aye.
But that's quite alarming if we don't address this now. I don't know how the future will be like. I don't know how Gen A would cope because there are another set of people that. But I would say, how can we navigate the challenges? Because there are a lot of the distraction system. That's the distraction agenda, as I said. How do young people navigate this to discover the?
You just want me to say something controversial. It won't work. It won't work. I think that okay. So I think for addressing these challenges, right? It's actually going to be. It's not, because this thing is not something that started yesterday. It's something that has been going on for generations or for a number of years, and it has penetrated the system so much. So if you want to counter the effects, right, then you can't come out and say, "Oh, don't be a transgender. Oh, don't be this. Don't be that."
And how do we get to solve this?
So you start by correcting the ideologies. So, one thing growing up with a strict parent taught me is that when you are fighting, you don't fight fire with fire. You fight fire with water. So if you are not given room to do certain things, and then you want to come and rebel and say, "Come on, I don't understand. I'm not a child anymore. What's the meaning of this? Why are you telling me to do this?" Well, they go beat you. They go beat the beating where they will give you that day. You go make you think. You think your life from the day you were born. So that's the thing. You approach these people from a place of love, the God kind of love, a place of love, a place of understanding, and a place of telling them, okay, This is what you believe you are. But this is not what God says you are. This is what God says you are. So you come at them from that place. Because if you want to go and fight fire with fire, there'll be trouble. There'll be explosion. There'll be explosion.
Thank you for staying tuned. I believe you have really learned a lot from getting to discover your identity and becoming who God wants you to be. Thank you very much. I'm so happy to have you.
It was a wonderful time having to talk about this. At least I hope like I said, I would try not to be controversial. Right? And as much as you try to push that button, I believe that I stayed away from it. But yeah, it was
your final words for the audience.
My final words for the audience. Understand who God says you are. I think come to a place of understanding that your identity doesn't come from the validation of others. You don't need other people to validate you before you feel you are loved or before you feel like yourself. I think, yeah.
Wow. That was amazing. I really loved this particular session with you, sir.
Please, Jude is fine.
Oh,
I'm not a sir. I'm not married yet.
No, you don't need to be married. Thank you very much for staying tuned to this time. Do well to like, subscribe, and share to as many young people as possible. Let's get these undiluted mind elevation conversations to everybody out there. Thank you very much.